All right, so guys, this is a thermal imaging camera. So can everybody see me? Oh, it's easy. You're just going to be a video man all night long. Trust me, this is easy stuff. Everybody see me in the camera? Do you guys see the blue around me?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody kind of get a gist of seeing me in the camera. So watch what it's going to do, Zach. I take me out of the picture, and everything turns a different color. So what Zach's going to be looking for are the blue spots. Obviously, those are cold. Red and orange are warmer than the blue. Relax, dude. It's fine.
It's like Call of Duty. I got it, but with ghosts.
Yeah, exactly. So the blue spots could be something paranormal.
I thought ghosts were hot.
No, ghosts are cold. Cold spots, dude. Come on now. So in the event he actually sees something blue that's moving through the screen, we actually caught an orb or some kind of spiritual entity that's passing through. I know, super rad, right?
So exciting.
So the cool thing about this device is it's going to record everything. It's already recording, and we're going to have the full video, so in case Zach misses something, you guys can all review it and say, hey Nick, Zach missed this. It's at this marker. So all you need to do is, you see the red square on there? That needs to stay a red square all night, because that means it's recording.
Got it.
And then hold it horizontal so we have a nice video to watch. Keep in mind where the camera is, so that way you're not putting your fingers over it.
Got it.
So, all right.
You got me on there now.
Got you.
I got my shit going on.
Got some red ghosts.
Oh, fuck. I mean, shucks.
Wave, Shauna.
Who here is not familiar with ghost equipment? How much explaining do I really have to do?
I watched Ghostbusters 1.
Okay. Lots of explaining. You guys are pretty quiet down there. Scaring me a little bit.
You gotta watch out for the one on the left.
The one on the left. Who's left?
Your left.
Alright, so this is a spirit box. A spirit box will take radio stations and sweep through them very, very quickly. I've already set it up to FM stations, and what this will do is, have you guys seen the movie Transformers?
No.
Yes.
No? Okay, Bumblebee talks through the radio. Okay, the little Volkswagen Bug, he's now a Camaro, I think. But he talks through the radio because he doesn't have a voice box. So he uses the radio to talk. This is exactly the concept we have with this. So I'm going to turn this on. It might be loud at first. Let's see. Yeah. So it's sweeping through those stations very fast. If it stops long enough, like something just came through, we need to hear what that is. So this will pick up either songs, DJs, commercials, or a disembodied voice going over top of that static. This one does not record, so I literally need you to tell me everything that you hear. So that way we can see if it's relatable to the location that we're at. Is that fair? So it has one button.
Johnny Cash.
That should be fine. There's a button on the back of the speaker. So there's the front with the silver, and on the back in the center, it just turns it on, and then turns it off.
No, they're playing
It's
Johnny
already
Cash down
sleeping.
there.
So when, like, I'm going through a story that we're talking about, turn it off.
I don't
and then I'll
think
tell
Jazz
you, okay, let's get
Johnny
Starbucks.
Cash, but somebody's playing Johnny Cash.
So, yeah. So, it's one button. That's all you need to worry about. Yep. Alright, so you can turn it on, go for it. I'll say spirit box is up. That's when you hit your button, and you're going to be off wandering a little. So, guys, the cool thing about, like, our first spot is it's actually kind of like a practice session for using all of these gadgets. It is haunted. I do get a lot of different things from that area, but it's kind of me bouncing around, kind of giving you a quick tutorial on what to do with your gadgets. Okay, is that fair? Because a lot of you are looking at me like, wow, he's giving us a lot of tech. So,
Cool.
yeah, you can. You already have your gadget, so you're good. Probably the best place is in the front. There's a little handle underneath the Hyundai symbol. Yep. Alright, for my quiet group down here.
Shouldn't have been quiet.
Right? Well, this one it's the exact same thing that she has, only it records. So you don't necessarily have to tell me what you hear. I will hear it later if you don't feel like speaking up. So I'm going to set this one up for you and get it recording. And of course, this will be part of your evidence page. So the great thing about this one is having two sets of ears on it. You guys can confirm each other what you just heard based on the story that I just told. Okay? Is that fair?
What does it do? Like pings? Oh.
So there's only one button. Right next to this little red dot, there's a little turnstile for volume. And even if your volume is up or down, it's still recording. I don't know how it does it, but it does. And it only records this, so it's not going to hear anything you guys say. Is that fair? Okay. You guys have been pretty quiet.
It only
So I was
records
I better
what?
give them something that's... All right.
Oh my gosh.
What else?
Now they're playing Hank Williams.
We're going later. It's okay.
Okay. I mean,
Joey
we'll
Frank.
see. Yeah, hey, bud.
Because you were already making fun of my shirt. This is the
I
reason why.
I wasn't making fun of it. I just asked if EVPD stood for shit.
No, I just EVP'd my pants.
Okay.
I peed my pants.
Okay. Well, it's very shitting. I'm just saying.
All right.
I mean, I guess.
This is an EMF detector. Okay, so an EMF detector will measure
Really,
electromagnetic fields. Okay, so my shirt represents the colors that go across an EMF meter. Now, EVPs stand for electronic voice phenomenon, and I'm going to record this entire tour for you guys. That's what an EVP is, electronic voice phenomenon, but the shirt actually has the colors of an EMF meter. I thought it was funny. I thought I'd get a good joke out of my ghost hunters. It's okay to make fun of it.
A lot of people aren't smart enough.
That's why I'm here to teach you.
That's okay. I'm going to laugh my ass off later once this thing's in.
So, electromagnetic fields. We have three types. We have the natural one that comes from the earth, which is why this is green. Okay? We have things that come, this is going to you, so I need
Okay,
you to
I got it.
focus. This is an easy one.
I
No
have to be
buttons.
aware of my surroundings all the time.
Yeah, I got
If
you.
those are ghosts, do we?
So, then we have things that are man-made. So, wiring, cell phones, anything electronic will make this thing go into a rhythmic pattern. Okay? That's not what we're looking for. We're actually looking for things that are going to make it go erratic. Does that make sense? It's going to go crazy. Checks his phone.
Yeah.
So-
I was going to make sure it wasn't like on. Right, I got you.
So anytime that thing, it doesn't make any noise. So when it goes a little crazy, you need to speak up, which I'm sure you're good at.
Speak
He's
up.
an auctioneer. Hey!
Exactly. We got it. Pick the right person.
So when it gets up here, you can be like, hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey, bro, got some shit, yeah? Bro. So when this like kind of, oh, it already is. Ooh.
The street's hot.
Probably like red, yellow.
Okay, when it starts flopping all over the place,
Okay, it was just doing a little. This is. Oh,
When it goes,
yeah, it's just moving. I got you.
The street's hot.
trying to think what else I got left. Alright, so you two are paired up.
Can you help me with this?
Trying to think of who these need to go to. These are actually thermometers. Why are we using thermometers? To verify what we find in the camera. It's also great for finding cold spots on their own. Okay, so first off, we should all recognize one of these guys, right? Like I said, it's got the red, the red dot. The problem with this guy is it only measures what it touches. So let's say Zach is standing where I am, and he says, "Nick, there's a blue spot right in the middle of that wall." I say, "Okay, well let's test it out. We're going to debunk it." So I shoot the wall, and I see that it's the same temperature all the way across. So now I know that that blue that he sees is in between him and the wall. So that's where this guy comes into play. This is a psychrometer. It's actually meant to measure humidity, which I don't even want to know what the true number of that is right
Kind
now.
of hot
It's not
right
too
now.
bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of humid.
But the bottom number actually measures the ambient temperature. So then I can actually move this in between Zach and where the blue spot is and find the cold spot and verify that we have something paranormal. However, this is a laser. It will shoot pretty far. So, you look somewhat responsible. We're going to go with this. Yes. You're good.
Man. The laser expert.
Oh shit! I forgot to look.
Alright, so I think we're going to actually put two eyes on that as well.
oh yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
What if somebody's walking by and they show up as blue?
Look with your real eyes to see if they're really there. Alright.
Oh, watch out. Car.
I'll come through here. Alright, so this guy, this is a laser box. So what this guy will do, we have a laser grid. So we also have a digital camera that I'm going to get to here in a second. So the laser, in the event we capture something either on through the video camera or the digital camera that I'm going to hand out, and it comes through, I will be able to get a full 3D image by putting it in 3D software, and we can see the full turn of the apparition that we actually catch. This is a new gadget for me. I haven't caught anything yet. Hopefully you guys will be the first. So that is gadget number 1 for you. And the second grid that I have, this one is super cool. I like this one a lot too. That is, like I said, relatively new. Again, lasers, we want to be careful with those. Now this is the neuralizer from Men in Black. So none of you guys are going to remember anything when we're done. You guys don't know Men in Black either?
Yeah.
No Transformers, we got one reference. Okay. She's like, are you going to erase my memory? Seriously? It's a grid pen. So this one does a little bit different than the one that I just get handed out. We get a lot more activity with this guy. Obviously, it's a little bit brighter. So again, it's going to look like a quick flash coming through. In the event we actually have an apparition with us.
Whoa.
Everybody kind of see the green streaks? Okay. You didn't see, well, you were looking at the ground.
Well, I might have been looking. Wait, where am I supposed to look?
I'm gonna have to take the cuffs off after.
Oh, I see. Ooh.
So again, an apparition's not going to stand in there that long. So it's going to be very quick. It's going to look like a flash of my hand, like it was just now. So you have 2 lasers. Rules are keep them low.
Just whenever like looks like they have more.
Not necessarily. You won't see it. We need that to help us see things. I will tell you when lasers
See
safe.
them all the time?
No. I would say when they're safe to be used in the places that we're going to.
Oh, okay.
Again, lasers aren't really a legal thing on the main streets of Charleston. So, young lady, you get to take pictures all night. Okay? Did you ever see an actual shoot, like point and shoot camera before?
Yeah.
Okay. The rule for you is none of these people can be in the pictures.
Okay.
Put me in them all you want to. Nobody's cars can be in the pictures.
Okay.
People get a little sketchy about that. There's no flash on this, so we're going to take one picture so we know where we're at. That's it. Done. So, take as many as you want. However, me looking through 300 pictures is not fun.
Okay.
Also, try to be as very still as possible. So, walking and snapping pictures while you're talking to everybody doesn't work. I need you to stop, hold still, take the picture.
Okay.
Fair enough? There you go.
I thought you had the other.
No, she's got the thermometer. All right, so again, your first location, folks, is going to be a practice session. I will tell you the kind of the history of what I have there, and then I'll let you guys go free and start bouncing y'all around and kind of give you the direction. Okay, so we start here on purpose. This place used to be called Big John back in the 1970s. It was named after John Kennedy, a 1947 Giants football player. So he used to sit in the back of the bar, and we also have the Citadel nearby, right? You guys seen the exit for that on your way into town? The cadets used to come over and have a drink, and Big John would tell the bartender if they were of age or not. One night, he pissed off 2 guys, said they weren't of age, and the 2 guys left and came back the next night, and they stole a cash register from the front of the bar. Big John pulls out his .45, and he shoots one and kills him. The bullet hole is still in the front of the building, and it said that anybody that sits in the front of the bar, which is also where I get EMF only, gets a little queasy, nauseated, lightheaded, dizzy, all of those things. I tell you this story on purpose. I know how paranormal activity. Go ahead, you have a question?
These poor people in here are trying to rebuild this bar. Do they
Well-
know what they're in for?
Probably.
I'm
This
sorry.
story is well
I'm
known.
sorry.
No, you're good. So I know how paranormal activity is going to affect me. I'm good. So unless I say we need to go right now, that's when I'm not good. We need to go. If any of you are feeling any of those things that I mentioned before, I need you to speak up. It's happened. I've had people pass out. I've had people almost go to seizures. Like it can be rough. Okay? Yeah. Believe it or not. This is not your normal ghost story. This is not a we're gonna go and just talk about stuff. We're gonna be kind of getting some activity and some communication. So the other big story here. Have you guys taken other tours in Charleston? Any history tours at all?
Just history, just a carriage ride.
So you know about an earthquake in 1886?
Yeah.
This is where the first death occurred. So a piece of the mantling that's above your heads that wraps around the front of the building, a piece of it fell off and killed a man. And you can see his spirit right here in the middle of East Main Street. And that was that came from the previous owner of this barn. So, guys, we're actually going to. Any questions so far? All right. So, everybody good? Quiet? You're good down there? The ladies are really quiet. Got to get you guys to giggle or something. You even have silent giggles.
Super scared.
All right, so we're gonna actually head down. Oh, I forgot one last thing. I use some tools myself. So I keep a backup EMF detector on my phone just in case Joey Franks goes bad.
You think I might mess up?
When he breaks mine, we have a backup. So there's one. I also use a spirit box on my phone. The spirit box on my phone will actually give me the words in the center of the stream. The cool thing about it is we'll get a full list of the entire thing and it will be spit back to you. Now the last tour actually had 56 entries. I'm going to clear those out so to start yours fresh. And I will literally keep this open all night long so that way we know what words are coming through. I won't lie, 80% of this, excuse my language, is absolute bullshit. It doesn't mean anything. The other 20% is where we actually get legitimate communication. This makes our tour very, very interesting. I use one more because everybody else has a spirit box that says stuff. I need one too, but mine's a little bit different. Mine actually takes those same FM stations and turns them backwards. Why do I listen to it backwards? Because when a word comes through forwards, I know I was meant to hear it, or it's a piece of communication that I needed to know. So I'm going to play it for you guys just so you know what to listen for when I turn on the audio, because you're going to hear that on your regular audio. Because I have the audio right here on my chest, and I keep the phone pretty close so you can hear what questions I'm asking, and that way you can hear the communication for yourself. So I'm going to turn this on so you guys get a gist of what to listen for, what you can expect. It's complete gibberish.
I know 3 different languages.
Awesome. You got kind of gist of that?
Okay.
Alright, so I just keep that turned down and turn it up when I'm ready to use it, and that way I can use both spirit boxes at the same time. So, I'm going to start the audio, and then we're going to actually head down this one.
All right.
You want to go from the head? I think you should.
I'm so sorry.
Today the 5th? Yeah. August 5th, 9 p.m. tour. There we go. It's on my chest all night long. So, a couple things. First off, the Crew Cafe that's over there is haunted. I walked through it with an EMF. They've actually asked me to do a full investigation. Mr. Joe Frank is getting activity already, which is awesome. So sometimes when I walk through here, it either starts at this point or it waits until we leave. So it's kind of hit or miss. You just never know. For you history buffs, the stop sign down there, we actually, during the Revolutionary War, had a cannon that was shot from the wharf over here, because we're 1 block away from the water. Keep in mind that Charleston, the outskirts of it, is actually, most of it is man-made. So there's a good block to a block and a half of it that we built extra. So the island actually goes out further. So the water would have been closer and landed right there at the stop sign. Now, any deaths or tragedies? No, just a cool little Charleston fun fact. I get no activity from there whatsoever, just one of those things. I had to dive into it. All right, so guys, we are actually at the Red Barn parking lot. Okay, you can see this is the Red Barn where they keep the horses for the carriage rides. There are horses in there. Those of you with lasers, keep them away from the windows. You will spook the horses. It's not fun.
So what is that erratic, right? What's going on?
Somebody's here. That's exactly what we're looking for. So, again, I get weird activity through this whole place. So, kind of a quick direction. This is the same before I get into that, the same red barn where they kept the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. So that kind of gives you some dates of like 1860 to 1910. I don't have any stories from them. This is just kind of like my playground to get you guys up and started. So spirit boxes, obviously up and running. Yours is a little loud, so try to
So I
stay.
need to hit it?
Not yet. I'm just gonna go through the line real quick.
Okay.
So try to stay away from those windows because yours is pretty loud. I don't want to split the ponies. Okay.
Oh.
You with the infrared. Sorry, Lily. Yes, I got one right. So obviously keep shooting your infrared laser all over except for those windows and try to get us a base temperature so that way you can get kind of a gist of what you're looking at.
Stay distant.
Camera.
Yes.
Just stay away from the car. Be good. You need to walk around. When you get something that's a little crazy and you get all the way to orange and red, you need to stop and say, hey, I got orange and red over here. So that way Zach can come over and try to take a
I
look.
pretty well talk like, hey.
Yeah.
So you're communicating.
Yep, you are communicating to the whole group because we will all bunch together. Lasers, keep them. You start down and move your way out. That's probably the best way for you. Spirit boxes, obviously, we'll listen to those. And Sierra obviously help him with
Yes.
keeping an eye on it. Now, the laser, when we get some activity with the laser grid, the EMF, when that goes off, like we need to be nearby. And the best way to use those together is literally side by side, so that way you get a nice span in front of you.
Nice.
There you go. You can span them out a little bit by turning them out. There you go, just like doing some lifts.
Now we're going. Now we're rocking.
Nice. So we're getting some activity already. I got the word course.
Really?
So the next thing I'm going to ask you guys is that two things. So if you guys see anything that's pertaining to you personally, like somebody that passed away that you know is coming through any of the spirit boxes, speak up. I don't ask you to look for personal agendas, but if something comes through, awesome. And the second thing is, those of you with spirit boxes, if you want to ask questions, make them non-yes or no questions and give them time to answer. Ask the same question several times. So, who's here with us? How many of us do you see? What color are the dots on the ground? What color is the barn? We're looking for one-word simple answers. And I might ask an odd question and it might come up on one of your spirit boxes. Happens all the time. I've heard things on the audio for the thermal imaging. There is audio on there. So even if I ask a question and nobody hears anything, it could come up on my audio here or on the thermal imaging camera. So again, it could come up anywhere. So let's go explore, kind of bounce around a little bit, and I'll make sure everybody's kind of getting the gist of how their gadgets work. Is that fair?
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
Whew. We're talking.
Got some shit going on here. Hey, get all the way up to the red, man.
Yeah, so go ahead and lay it flat like I'm holding my phone.
My deal?
Yeah, go ahead and that way you can actually kind of get a gist, and that way we can all see it. We're not standing behind it and trying to find it. And it looks like the belly's getting a little activity there. Put it on me, I might have some electricity. Let's keep it moving, because that looks like a pretty weak signal. Let's see if it's just bouncing around. See how we can't make a rhythm out of it? It's just kind of bouncing in and out. You had Tori right there a second ago. Those of you with spirit boxes, go ahead and kind of wander off away from each other. That way you guys can not hear each other's questions. I want to make sure we can verify each other's actions. Where's the grids at? Let's bring the grids on.
Duty.
Nice and still. You actually take like 2 steps backwards and kind of spin it out. Go ahead and take it there. So where the color of the dots are on the ground. I need to know the color of the dots are on the ground. Then what you're looking for is going to be super quick. It's going to look just like that after the Yes, definitely not the windows.
Didn't see anybody peeking out of the window.
What you're looking for here, you see how it fluctuates?
Yep. And then
Now your blue orbs that we're looking for, if you notice, like go ahead and like just shoot my hand. Are there white lines around my hand? Let's try my phone. It usually does it better on my phone. You see white lines on the phone?
Yeah.
So your blue orb,
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
you find, is going to have that white outline because it's going to recognize it as an object.
Is it the energy or just the object?
It's going to be energy, but that camera is going to look at it that it's an object because it sees the heat difference. Especially if it's going to be a blue coming across over top red, it's going to see it as an object moving. So that's why you're going to get your white outline.
Okay.
Also keep in mind that that does not have the same pixelization as our cell phones. So nice slow movements with that is probably best in key. Okay. So you're going to see how it kind of you're going to see it calibrate a lot.
Yeah.
But when it like pixelates a little bit, you went too fast.
Okay.
So when we're walking to the next location, I'll say go ahead and keep filming, and it's hard to keep it straight while you're walking, but just do the best you can.
Got it.
But yeah, that gadget is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's actually meant for like plumbers and electricians.
Okay.
So that way they can find leaks in piping. And
Well, that's what I mean. I think like right now is that just like water mainly.
yeah,
you can see
the
right
water is much cooler than the ground next to it.
Yeah.
So if you even look at the grate is metal, so it should show up blue as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's that one right there. Oh, right there. Yep.
Is it blue?
Yep. Yeah, the whole thing is blue. Cool pavement right to
Well,
it.
this ground, it's over top of a sewer line. There's wiring over there and on the corners, and obviously we have that electrical pole over there.
What about the little white lines? They're just trying to like make out the...
Yep. Anything off in the distance. So even like, you see like those triangles of light on that back wall, it's going to try to find that as an object as well.
Got it.
So I know it's kind of hard to see, especially things in the distance, but we're looking for those more up close moments.
Got it.
Alright, so I know they got...
I forgot what the red one does.
The red one is pretty much the same thing with the green one, but it's not going to show up unless we actually have an object.
Yeah,
Let's
they're
say
right here.
Grace takes a picture while you're, you got the red one out. I can take a picture, I can turn the software. Hi, Brad. Hello, Brad. Can you say hello back? The name Brad. So again, we ask questions, we don't know where it's going to go. Find me. She has the same spirit box. Okay? And I just got the word impossible. Agreed. Okay, so which version of that app do you have?
I don't know, I just downloaded it.
Okay, so you have the free version, which has a vocabulary of 3,000 words.
Okay.
Mine has 9,000. So if they're communicating back and forth, it's going to be very interesting. So by all means, keep it open all night if you'd like.
Okay.
What did it say?
It got deeper and like even vibrated.
Hey Brad, are you playing games with us? I know, yes, I know, I'm sorry.
Way to go, Brad.
Over where? Brad, where are you? Okay. Brad, tell us where you are.
How old are you?
Hey Brad, do you like football? Brad, did you play with Big John Kennedy? Can you just open for a minute? I'm gonna look up the roster. See where Brad is. Maybe doctor, what I heard.
Is there more than one of you here? Or how many? How many are here? How many are here?
There's something for it.
Say that again. How many are here?
No Brad on that roster. Brad, how many of you are here? We need a number. Yeah. Can you give us a number? Try to get a number on it. Like,
Don't forget.
how many of us are there? I want to check
How
it.
many are there of
How was
you?
your spirit box?
It just went off. So, what did I say?
Then 5,000?
Yeah.
We got a jokester.
No, that's what it said.
But again, we got the word quarantine. But again, we were asking how many of them are here. You get the number 5,000. Like, that's a joke. Like, there's 5,000 of us. You'll never see us all. But that's kind of how I look at that.
Mine says problem. It says don't forget problem. And it's like going crazy.
Yeah, I was going nuts. I got surprised.
Haunting.
I just got that too. Oh, I thought you said quarantine.
Oh, haunting.
I just got quarantine right before surprise. So, interesting. So everybody kind of getting the gist of how other gadgets work.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and cut yours off since we're not making anything out.
We're going to the graveyard.
We are going to another lot, and I promise you it's not parking lots all night long. And it's actually right across the street. So I just want to make sure everybody kind of has a gist of how their gadgets work. I think you guys got a great grip on yours. You're pretty easy. You're getting yours better. You're double-handed. You talked. You guys are all good. All right, so let's go learn some history about Charles.
Come on. Zach, you are repeatedly getting within 2 feet of these people.
2 feet.
You were just standing right beside the mom. You need to leave space. I don't know how many times I have to tell you.
So guys, welcome to the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion site. This is a huge part of Charleston history, and I promise again, this is the last parking lot. So the front of the parking lot would have been the mansion, Eliza's garden would have been lined up with the blue dumpster, and then the slate homes would have been lined up back here with the trailer. Eliza had a son named Charles, and they had a nephew named Charles. The son and the nephew were signers of our Constitution. Big deal for Charleston. Big political piece, right? However, I don't care about politics. So we're going to talk about Eliza. Eliza, super cool. Eliza married Charles so that she could stay here in the States. Daddy wanted her home because he was sick and he thought he was dying. She didn't want to go, so she married Charles to stay here. Daddy got better. They made amends. Dad started sending her stuff over from home, which was in England. So he's sending her plants, he's sending her gifts, dresses, the whole nine. One of those plants happened to be indigo. Eliza was a botanist, so when she started that indigo plant, the rice plantations in Charleston were taking a dive. So indigo was our next cash crop that saved Charleston. So not only did she start it right where you're standing, she actually was the businesswoman that sold it to all the leaders overseas. Now what's the big deal with indigo? Indigo makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. So if you didn't know that, there's a nice little fun fact for you. So this is where it all started, right here. Super cool. Eliza loves to chat with us. She'll talk on the spirit boxes. She will come up on the EMF meter all the time. We do get random cold spots in here from time to time, so be on the lookout for those. Lasers, keep them below the wall. Oh good, our light's flickering. So everybody kind of take note of the light. So, Joe, hold up your EMF like you're gonna take a picture with your phone.
Oh my gosh.
He likes it. So everybody kind of see how that's pulsing, the exact rhythm of the light. Now that light doesn't flicker every night, and it flickers at different intervals every night. And if you notice, it's not a rhythmic pattern. It's getting bursts from the activity that comes out of this location. Now, this is one of those locations I told you is high with paranormal activity. We will not stay here for too long, probably about 10 minutes. So be mindful of how you're feeling. I will kind of wander off myself so I can, do my own EMF, but I will still continue with all of you guys of what's happening with your gadgets. So Joe, by all means, walk around, find those super hot spots.
Watch out.
That way I can kind of combine them, show everybody what's possible.
You should walk over by that light. You should walk over by that light.
You can see from right here. Sometimes when you take this parking lot's asphalt too, but it's mostly blue.
I know. Oh, it's dirt. Is it? Oh, it felt kind of like.
It's a mix, I think.
Yeah. What is that?
You want to look
I
at
see one approaching.
Oh, what hurt?
Oh, do you want to touch this or no?
You seen it last time. Only person touching is you.
What? Hold it?
Okay, I'll look through the
So. There's Shauna's by herself. Oh my gosh.
Alex asking all kinds of questions.
Amazing how warm it is right there. And how cool it is right here.
Isaac, will you come through on this spirit box for me? Actually, before, how many of us there were? I counted the 8.
Tasting the guys. So, yeah, cowboy. Hot stuff, 12 o'clock. Taking a shot.
Are there 11 of you here?
Oh, jeez. Sounds about to get yeeted. Zick!
Robert's not your daughter. Or your daughter's name.
Indigo Road. We're supposed to be able to look at this together. You literally keep pushing it.
Let me have it.
I'm not supposed to have it. He gave it to you. He gave it to you. But you can still use it because it said y'all were together. He's not saying anything to you. He's scared of you.
So what's that one compared to that one over there? What is it? Love?
Factory.
Is that similar to that one or the same thing? The frequency?
Yeah, same
Okay.
thing. They're just not synced together.
Okay.
So, because I turn them on at different times, they start on different stations. They're at different sweep rates on purpose.
Gotcha.
So that one actually goes a little bit slower because that one actually works better when you can hear the disembodied voices when it's going faster. So I have it at 250 milliseconds per station. That one I think is on 350 milliseconds per station. So that's actually
Okay.
slower. So it's I know it's a weird
Yeah.
science, but I do have them set up differently because you get different things out of them, and
Gotcha.
I find you get better evidence the way they're set up. So again, I'm trying to go near that one because it doesn't record, and she's not grasping how to listen for it. So she's like, it's picking up radio stations. I'm like, it's supposed to. I want you to tell me what the DJs are saying. I want you to tell me what you hear. If a song lyric comes by and says love, we know we have the word love.
Could there be a spirit grasping that?
Right.
Yeah.
Just like Bumblebee from Transformers.
Gotcha, yeah.
Got the word tin. We were talking about tin earlier with the red barn. Lily asked me if she could shoot the thing, the infrared thermometer, not in the windows but on the tin. So I do have the word tin here. But again, I'm asking questions. They might come through on the audio there.
Yeah.
And again, I upload that to YouTube and then transfer it over to my website. So if you have YouTube, you can actually watch it on your TV.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is, that's how I watch them to make sure I have the right evidence. I put it up
We'll
on
be
the big
watching
screen.
that, yeah.
I mean, I have a pretty decent sized computer screen, but
Yeah.
my wife ain't home. Put it
Right.
on YouTube. I put it on the TV. Me and the kids sit down and we watch the blue spots.
That's what we do.
Hi, y'all.
Again, it's just open air. No, and most people do. I even walk around. Guys, let's get out of this young lady's way. She's gonna be backing up.
Sorry, we're ghost hunting. A lot of guys here.
Somebody living in the area, they're probably freaking out. I guess because this area has a shadow. What did she say? Ghostbusters. I definitely got bitten on my ankle by a mosquito.
I know. Or was it a ghost?
I'm getting bit. No, it
Ghost
was an
mosquito.
ankle. Okay. Look, this part over here is really cold.
Goodness.
But nothing in here. No ghosties. Found one, remember?
Been recording. What was up with that couple? Don't find anything?
I don't know. This thing.
That thing keeps going off.
Yeah, it keeps going off all the time.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything on mine yet.
Told her to move. Be careful with your recording. Oh yeah, I already asked her. She's gonna ask me.
I don't want to hear if you like, what's up?
Yeah, that's maybe he's a ghost.
Because I was standing right here and it told me to move.
Ooh. Maybe you're standing on a grave.
Well, it said there was a homicide here. So.
There you go. They could be buried right here, not laid to rest.
Hey, Willie, what's up?
Okay. Grace, how many words did you get? I had fours earlier tonight.
And then we were standing here talking, and it told us.
I definitely got bitten.
I felt what's on the other side of his mouth?
Oh.
Alright, so again, everything's fine. Your EMF is probably going crazy for most of it. Did you get a base temperature read? Did you find anything weird that may have dropped by 5 or 10 degrees? No?
I mean, like, how cold is cold?
So I look for drops of like 5 to 8 degrees or more. Like that's when I get excited. There's a spot we're gonna test tonight where I can usually get a 30-degree drop. And that's at the end of the tour. It's a very last stop. So we'll test that theory
5
again.
degrees from what?
5 degrees
From base?
So that's why I say keep shooting around. You told me earlier you had a base of like 86 average. So if you see something come up at 80,
It's like ranging from like 70 to
70 to 90, like that's a big gap. So those 70-degree spots, I probably would have said, what is this? So when you find that, the water was much cooler. So Zach can tell you, like he saw blue where the water was.
There's 80 degrees over
Water,
here.
that makes sense. But if it was, you know, a different temperature on the ground.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I realized that.
What?
They say the same thing. There's no way that's the same. That says 100 degrees on the wall. No way. No way.
Does that make sense now?
Burn your hand.
All right. So guys, we're gonna move on. We're gonna be walking on East Bay. So if you don't have a mask on, I'm gonna ask that you have one on, please.
Okay.
When we get to Lodge Alley, by all means, we'll be kind of free reign again. But just walk down East Bay, we'll be fine. So, everybody, there's a lot of data you just collected in this location. That's why I don't like to stay here too long. You get to look further. So, Grace has actually downloaded the same ghost detector app that I'm using, so she's going to send me the list of words that she gets, and we'll compare the two. We've already gotten a lot of the same words, so we'll see what happens with that.
Woo.
All right, you guys ready? Oh, by the way, if you guys were looking for Zach Bagans to make everything super exciting, like a demon's inside of me, you picked the wrong guy. Because this is legitimately what we do.
You're not gonna scream and.
No.
One last pan. Custom house.
Sorry. We're gonna cross right here. Oh, we can cross.
You're sure? Because it looks like they're...
Solid enough for Brad. Yeah. It does. That's what we're about. That's what I gotta get a house to, baby. You are. You are. Look at that. Ooh. Imagine seeing all this go up. Oh, we're going down a back alley. Back alley set. good.
Quite a hike, so I kind of give us all a resting place here. What kind of words did you get, Miss Grace?
I got wait, like.
Wait?
Yeah.
Like we were waiting for other folks to catch up? Okay. Was it on a crosswalk by chance?
It was like out front of this building pretty much.
Okay.
It was maybe right after the crosswalk.
Yeah.
Last week I had a tour where I went too fast over a crosswalk and it actually told us to stop and wait. Like right as soon as me and half the group made it across, and I turned around and noticed that my other half was on the other side of the street. So that's why I asked if it was at a street corner. So guys, you're standing at Lodge Alley, obviously very old. This used to be one of the original streets of Charleston.
Wow.
And when I say street, that means people lived here. So I have a full roster of residents that used to live here from 1701 and on. The people that lived here, yeah, it gets a little warm down here. There's a lot of kitchens that all out. So it's also where my glasses start to fog up, so expect it. But again, I don't tell you what that list of roster is because I don't have it memorized first off, but they're very simple names. So if we hear names coming through our audio, or we see words or names that are coming through on our spirit boxes, on the digital ones, not yours, by all means I can reference that back. Now the people that lived here were in a lower class. They actually did archaeological digs in between these clay bricks and found like some of their silverware and some of their utensils and things like that, and that's how they were able to determine who actually lived here. Now again, the wharf would have been much closer, like I said before. So the people that lived here were, some of them were mariners, there were other grocers, seamstresses, I hate to say ladies of the night, but possibly. I've actually had that come through here before, a name and then that position right after.
Wow.
So it's kind of like, okay. But I didn't find the relevance to the roster of the people that actually lived here. So guys, this is a super cool street to actually check out. We have, I think, 11 different alleys in Charleston. Not many people actually walk through this one. So the building behind you is actually original. The building behind me is the Lodge Alley Inn. Every hotel down here has a story of their own ghosts, but nothing that relates to our history is what comes out of here. The only thing that comes out of here are claims of apparitions in some of the rooms. I haven't done an investigation here to verify that because I don't have any history of who it could be. I like to know who it could be. Like, without an actual history, to me, it's just a claim at that point and somebody's fear getting the best of them. So we're actually going to walk to the end of this alley and make a right. We're going to be in a neighborhood. So lasers and pictures are a big no. If you want to take some pictures once we all pass of the full alley, I usually catch some orbs in here with the pictures. Take several, probably 4, maybe 5. And I've mentioned that if you're still enough, they actually make nice tour pictures for your vacation. But at the same token, I cannot be a tour guide when you're in a neighborhood. That's part of the city ordinance. So at that point, we're going to be 10 friends ghost hunting, yes?
Let's
So,
do it.
we just cutting through. So if you can lag behind, that would be great. Again, nice and slow on your camera.
Rebel. Cool.
Everybody can see. Is that heads up?
I don't know. Maybe it's not pin. Guess what? It's not pin, it's square.
Piece of glass.
It's like a piece of copper, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Cut your
It's an
finger.
artifact. Maybe it's for the archaeology.
Oh, gas line right
Yeah. That's a problem we have here in the city.
now. Littering.
Yeah. Exactly. Pretty good. Nobody tripped and fell. Awesome. Good job, guys.
reminder to take the trash can out. Make sure you do that.
You already outside.
Alright.
So we're actually doing pretty good on time, guys. So I'm actually going to take us to one of my extra spots. So you guys are kind of getting a bonus location to check
Nice.
out. So
I like bonus.
Bonus.
I got like a dozen places in my back pocket based on time. So if I get a party at 2, I can usually do 12.
That's a nice looking building going up.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Oh, what we got?
It just said her name, her full name.
What?
So
It's close enough.
how's it?
Burning. Are you hot?
Yeah, I'm hot. I am too, but you know.
Are you
Do I need to
overheated
turn
right
this
now?
on?
I mean, you're sweating pretty bad, but are you
It
like?
says burning.
Yeah.
That's why I asked
I
if
mean,
she
like,
was
are
hot.
you like overheated?
Give me
Hey Zach, face Zach for a second. Get a temperature from her. His is more accurate.
this. 92.3.
Look at her forehead.
Assaulted?
Put the crosshairs right on her forehead.
This heat, maybe.
Yeah, we're going upwards of 100.
100 is normal in this kind of heat. So
Okay.
anything over 101, I would get worried.
Nope, we're good.
Right around 100, that's normal.
The
for us
maximum
on
is
this
100. We're at like 99, 98.
Okay, yeah, she's
Yeah.
good. So making sure, just checking on you. Safety first.
200? What in the world?
Y'all hear music up there?
The ghost singing?
I don't know, it just said music.
Ooh. Just a creepy looking alleyway.
Say anything?
Can't get a good read on it. Alright. All clear.
You gotta catch up. Come on. We got 30.
60.
I'm talking about where
Hang back, Zach. Yep, they called me, right? On the gut.
Why did he look at a car and he thought heat What if he looked at a car and saw like heat signature in the trunk?
Pictures, hands through the gate if you can. Comfortable with that. Obviously, Zach, I need full view of this.
Okay.
Lasers are okay in here. Just keep them on the front lower portion of this building. Now, this building, guys, this is on paper the oldest building we have in Charleston. 1713. I will argue that the pink house is older by 1 year, but it's not on record. So, this is the powder magazine. It is served in 11 different wars. The cool thing about this is those walls are 36 inches thick, and the roof is filled with sand. This would have been inside the inner walls of the original Charlestown. We actually had 4 regular walls right off the coast, and this would have been right on the border of it. It is this far inland to protect the gunpowder. So it has helped with 11 different wars, not full wars from start to end, but in and out. It's kind of a hiding spot in all those different wars. Again, those 36-inch walls are in a groin vault ceiling inside. So there's 8 pillars on the outside that make those 36 inches, and then 1 in the center. So that way, if the place ever actually got hit with a cannon, the explosion would be contained and save the rest of whatever was around it. So super cool building. There is hunting claims here. I have yet to find them. So I'm asking you to get some good pictures, some good video, and shoot those lasers in there to see if actually anything pops up. So you've got the lasers, take your green one, and go ahead and just kind of wave it around slowly, and let's get it on the thermal imaging camera.
I'm gonna
Again, just try to keep them low so they don't have the windows in the back. Spirit box, yes, obviously. Let's take a listen. Have you guys heard anything interesting? You guys haven't really said much. Nothing that's popping out? Okay. I got the words be brave. Interesting. See if there's anything else before that. Grace, did you get us some good pictures?
I'm trying my best.
Oh, you're watching the spirit box? Yeah, mine was pretty slow on the way up here too. Like I didn't get fine. Alright, so we'll see what we actually captured out of this building with the video and the audio and all of that. Again, I don't have a full plan. No, we actually have another spirit box running down here, so you're fine. But again, I have a season pass to this place. It's gorgeous on the inside. It's like $5 entry fee. I'm not here to pitch the museum, but it is absolutely gorgeous in there. If you're in the old war uniforms, this is the place to be.
Step. It says step.
Yeah.
Steps? Okay. Alright. That might be like, hey, move on. There's nothing here tonight. Or we don't want to be seen. So, let's head back down this way.
Alright.
Shiny. Shiny. That's funny.
Oh my God.
It's shining on me. I'm not a ghost.
You got a ghost in there.
He just thinks I'm possessed.
Nature.
Just being
Look at
angry.
me and see if the Holy Ghost is in there.
Grace, they're waiting on you.
We need another picture. No, just
What's that over
take
there?
St. Philip's for everybody. Oh, yeah.
Got some apparitions.
Yeah, they're tourists.
to kind of look behind you and see that wall back there with the doorway?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, so that doorway leads you to Philadelphia Alley, which was once known as Dooley's Alley. We're going to walk through it here in a few minutes. But I like to point it out on this side because during the duel, the loser would come through that door and go straight to St. Philip's grave where his hole was already dug. So not many people know that and why that gate is there, but that's the reason why.
Man.
So where we're standing is St. Philip's Church, and there's a couple stories that go along with this, so I'll kind of go through them briefly. And if that group moves, we'll go up and take a look at that half of the cemetery. It's really great for thermal imaging, some pictures, and the grid pens. So it's a hot spot. This is more of a touristy area. So St. Philip's, then you have the other side of the cemetery, which you see that other group over there. That's where Calhoun is buried. His sarcophagus is above ground, so you can see it. Oh, cool. Actually walk up there. Let's get over there. Oh, you're good. Let's go check it out.
Did somebody leave their phone?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So, this sign right here, guys, says there's no ghost. The only ghost of St. Philip's is the Holy Ghost. The reason for that is because 1888, a woman died 10 days after her stillborn child. And then in 1988, a photographer came to town, took a bunch of pictures of Charleston, and actually captured a full apparition inside this cemetery. That raised a lot of attention about ghosts and ghost hunting in 1988, so that's why that sign is there. So think of 1988 when he took that picture. We had no Photoshop, we had no internet, all of those things. So he had no way of faking the picture. So he sends it off to Kodak to get it debunked, and Kodak could not debunk the picture. So her name was Susan Howard Hardy. I don't show the picture on my tour because it is cursed towards women. Women will feel a little queasy, dizzy, those kind of things. You know, look it up on your own. Just don't look it up on your cell phone. Women that are pregnant will not have a good pregnancy. So again, I'm not cursing my tours. Sorry about that. Sorry. But that's how that one goes.
Wow.
But across from there, we told you we had another half of the cemetery. And then beyond that, we actually have the Pirate House. And then one block past that is Dock Street Theater. All of these buildings tie in together. So Dock Street Theater, one of the top 10 locations in America. And I haven't caught tons of evidence. I have some EMF a little bit, but not a whole lot. But it's actually been changed twice. It was originally a theater, and this used to be Dock Street. It's now Church Street for obvious reasons, because the church juts out. And then it was turned into a hotel that had prostitution, and there was a bar inside. It was called Planters Hotel. And then we turned it back into Dock Street Theater and just kept the original name. So keep that in mind with the next story. Nettie Dickerson used to work here at St. Philip's. She was past the marrying age, and we just got the word bride on Grace's spirit box. Got the word shoot when we were talking about Dooley's Alley. But anyway, Nettie was past the marrying age of 17. She was 23. I know, jokes, right? So she was not happy about everything. She's seen the prostitution going on down there at Planters Hotel. So she goes down there to go get herself a job. She goes on her best way dress. She goes down. She's the best loved girl in the whole place. However, she's still not happy. She's to go to the second story balcony and lean on the wrought iron banister that's still there and think about coming back to the church. So the priest goes down there one night and he's trying to convince her to come back. The storm rolls in, lightning strikes the wrought iron banister and strikes her dead. Now, her apparition is said to be seen from the knees up only. Why is that? So I told you we changed it back to Dock Street Theater. When we did that, we raised the first floor ceiling. She's walking on the floor that she knows. Does that make sense to everybody? So we can only see her from the knees up. We only raise it by a foot. So that's the ghost there, and we didn't know that. Somebody actually had to research, like, why is this woman so short and I can't see the bottom of her dress? It's because she's walking on the floor. The other the other ghost is that of Junius Booth, the father of John Wilkes Booth. He said he was an actor during the times of the original Dock Street Theater. He used to travel through town all the time, and he said to Gateway, interesting. I got the word street. I'm talking about church and Dock Street. So, we're getting some relevant things here. Did you get us a good thermal of the cemetery?
Yeah, I got a great thermal. You see anything when you're doing it? Nothing crazy?
So Junius is said to be seen from time to time. The pirate house, somebody lives there. That is where Blackbeard's men used to come off the ships. Blackbeard would stay offshore and watch the ships, but his men would come aboard, have a few drinks, have a place to sleep, and there was a tunnel that underground that led from the pirate house all the way to Dr. Theater. Rumor has it, but of course I debunked that really fast, that Blackbeard's treasure was underneath it before we filled it in the 1990s, but of course Blackbeard's treasure's not here. It's in North Carolina somewhere, I believe. That's another weird myth we like to try to attach Charleston. So, super hot over here, so we're going to go check out Philadelphia Alley, where it should be much, much cooler. So let's go back down this way and go check out that alley.
Alright.
I got hate, by the way, also.
I got hate earlier. You're getting a lot of the same words I am. Trying to make your tour memorable. Here's the gate that I was telling everybody about. You got it up again. Guys, this is probably the most popular touristy ghost stop in all of Charleston. Every other ghost tour really ramps up this story. I'm going to give you the gist in about 4 minutes because we actually have gadgets that can actually help us determine if the spirit here is real or not. So this is the story of the Whistling Doctor. So if you Google the Whistling Doctor, you will hear this story. Yeah, right? So, and everybody in Charleston knows this story, so they all like to whistle as they go by. However, I only have one whistle on one tour that I was not able to debunk of somebody going by. It was over top of something else, and I just could not separate the two enough. However, the Whistling Doctor, he moved down here from Jersey. He was going to marry his fiancée, Amanda, who just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The lawyer said, no, you're not going to get married yet. So he said, go finish off your studies of being a doctor and start your practice elsewhere, and then we'll talk. Prove to me you don't want just their money. So he comes down here to Charleston. As a coach, the coachman drops him off, sets him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start to his stay here in Charleston. Somebody passing by named Ralph Isaacs, that's why I said Isaac would be an interesting thing to come up with. Got the word comment as I'm saying that, because I needed to remember a name. So Ralph Isaacs stops the coachman and says, Go on. We got another tour coming through. Let's mask up. I know, it's horrible. It's hot, humid.
Hello.
Hi.
Alright. Oh, good. Ooh, glasses walked up. That's fun. Alright, so where was I? Oh, Ralph sends off the coachman, and he takes him to 59 Church Street for a place to stay. So 59 Church Street is about a mile and a half from here. He rents a room upstairs from two ladies that live downstairs. The two become friends. However, the doctor is moving up in hierarchy in Charleston because he's a doctor and he's making a lot of money. So he's moving up, and Ralph Isaacs just stays a regular old Charlestonian. But they used to go to plays together, but they had to sit in different seats because of their hierarchy. It's the way Charleston worked. So one night they're on their way home talking about the play. It was Richard III from Shakespeare. And the doctor loved the new actress in the play. Ralph did not. They got into an argument. It turned into an insult party on the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in New Jersey. The two get pissed off and go their separate ways. Ralph, having ties in Charleston, writes in the newspaper what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. He's taking her money, he's not from here, those kind of things. So the doctor rebuttals with, we're going to come down here to Dueler's Alley, which is what this was before Philadelphia Alley, and we're going to finish this. So they take back to back, take their 20 paces, the doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to make a point. However, Ralph takes 2 shots below the knees. The doctor drops, so he doesn't go through the death gate, and we have a visitor. A cat. Interesting. It's not one of the normal cats I see. So anyway, his friends pick him up, and they carry him a mile and a half away to 59 Church Street, and he dies 10 days later. He's a doctor, and he cannot save himself. So, him being the jovial character that he was, making a lot of money here in Charleston, he used to whistle a lot. That's why he's called the Whistling Doctor. So he said as you walk through here, you can hear the whistles and or the gunshots from the duels. Keep in mind, this was Dueler's Alley. Hundreds, if not thousands, of duels happened here, and this is the only story we have. That's why I'm always trying to debunk it, but it's a gorgeous place. Spirit boxes can be listened to through here. Obviously, pay attention to what you're doing, and then take more pictures as we exit. Now, I told you the one cool fact about the Death Gate that I like to call, but there's one more cool feature about this place. At the end, the bricks are going to get older as we keep walking. The last bricks we see are going to be sun-dried bricks from slave children. You can still see the fingerprints, and we have one full handprint at the end. It is a sad story. I don't get much activity from it, because who wants to hang out where they actually had to work from a slave? So don't expect a whole lot of activity, but it is something to see from Charleston. Those can be found at 3 different locations around town. If you type in footprint or handprints in Charleston, you'll find the Post and Courier news article. So again, it is super quiet down here, but you can't listen to your spirit box. Your EMF detector, Joe, is going to go off in the center. Don't get excited. That's from the actor studio in the center that we have. But let's kind of... Oh, also keep in mind at the end is residential. So I'm going to point out the handprint, but we have to keep moving. We're going to make a left, so I'll point it out to the person behind me, and then just keep showing it off, but we have to move quickly, and we'll go to the left. Okay, so it's a quick walkthrough because somebody actually lives on this street. So let's take a walk.
Well,
I'm going to look in the floor because I'm wondering what that actually means. I didn't listen to your spirit box.
do you know how far 6 feet is?
Yes.
That's 10 feet.
Did you get anything?
I got Bale, Chris, and Thor.
Crazy, it's like cobblestones and bricks where they just replace it. Just like, the stuff washes away. Philadelphia Alley. There it is.
Only reason after the Civil War we had an earthquake, and Charleston didn't have any money to rebuild. So they basically begged anybody to help them. Yeah, one thing to know though, usually, you know, when you're walking around here and
Prints, handprint, passed on.
Oh, right here.
Oh, in the brick. So, at the same time as the cobblestone. Curious. Huh? By following us?
One last spot, guys. So everybody wraps around.
Alright.
Got some strikers. You guys hearing anything on your skip? Alright, so we got one last building to check out, guys. Right behind you is the Wagner building. It's going to look like Wagner when you actually look at the front of the building, but it's Wagner. So this was part of our cotton industry. So the last person who owned it as part of the cotton industry was George Pereira. George Pereira inherited the business from his dad. He had no idea what he was doing, silver spoon kid, got himself into a bunch of debt and trouble with all kinds of government officials. So he needs to sell out, and the boll weevil just came to town, which is a bug that needs cotton. So now he's really up a creek because he's got all these debts and he doesn't have enough cotton. So he sells the cotton over to the British. We're 1 block away from East Bay Street, 2 blocks roughly. So the ship rolls up, they unload the cotton from the back here, load up the ship full of cotton. He's watching from the second story office in the front of the building, and somebody gets too close to the cotton with a pipe, and the whole ship goes up in flames, and everybody dies. So George is watching all of this from the second floor, and he's already depressed. He already didn't have enough money to pay off all his debt, and now his dad's legacy is gone. So piles up all the furniture, puts a chair on the top, climbs to the top, swings a noose, and he hangs himself. Said that a newsboy the next morning is the one that found him. Was not a pretty sight since a crow broke through a window and actually got to him first. So, we get interesting things out of this building. I've already gotten cotton and finance as we were walking down. So, the other person that actually I get that comes through here has been coming through here for like the past 6 weeks or so for me on the gadgets is Zoe from Coogan's Porch. So if you Google any haunted building in Charleston, you'll see Coogan's Porch is usually in the top 3. Coogan is actually named after a dog. It's a restaurant. You can go there and eat great food. But Coogan will actually pull at your pant legs if you have pants on that day. Or Zoe can be seen throughout the restaurant as well, mainly in the women's restroom. But she comes through with her name and or what type of restaurant, kind of business that she had. So she'll say words like restaurant, food, those kind of things. So I never know who I'm going to get. So on your audio, you're going to hear me ask who do I have, and then I'll usually get an answer, and then I'll usually ask what kind of business or what happened to the ship or those kind of things. So spirit boxes you can listen to on the way up, but you're not going to be able to hear much once we reach East Bay Street. So go ahead and listen to your spirit boxes when we're walking up, and we'll see what we actually capture. and then we're going to test a theory with the infrared, the thermometer. So the front of the building is kind of shaped just like the very tall part of the building here in the back. It's got a peak. So in the front, at the very peak, is usually 20 to 30 degrees colder than the bar below it, which is only about 5 feet, and it should not be. There's no reasonable explanation. We've tested every other building around. Sometimes it's only a 5-degree difference. Other nights it goes all the way up to 30-degree difference. I don't know why, but we're going to test that theory again and again and again, and then we're going to use your camera to try to test it on your end as well. So we're going to cross legally twice, and then we'll listen to some spirit boxes until we get to the front.
What you picking up back there? Back on East Bay Street, just so you guys all know where we're at. We're literally about 4 blocks from where we started that way. We're all going to walk back together. So where's my thermometer? Go ahead and shoot your red laser to the very top of it. Now follow in the street. Right there. Okay, now go down to the same color on the little hub things right there. On mine. Did you get anything on yours?
I got pastry tape on
Okay. Other spirit boxes. Did you guys get anything? Did you guys get anything on your spirit box? This location is kind of like hit or miss. It's either super active or it's super dead. No pun intended. But again, pictures are super great here. So if you want to get some aerial shots. But again, we never know what we're going to actually capture in those windows. But again, now the weird thing about thermal imaging, this is one of the places why I wanted the camera, but I found out after I got it and doing some research, it doesn't actually see through glass. It only gives us the temperature of what the glass is. So that's why all your windows look blue. But if there's a heat change in that, where there's something in the center that turns black, then we have a heat change, like a temperature change. So something is obviously making that window colder in the center.
Right.
So again, get us a nice slow sweep of second and maybe third story. If you can actually see anything on the third story, you might be able to, even if the lights are out up there. And then, did you grab us some pictures on that?
I did it again on the top of this
Okay, so at least we have a 13-degree difference. So why was it different 5 minutes ago? So again, this whole building, they used to be a brewery as well. So they have to turn on and cold spots inside, like they can explain. Like that's the reason why I like it. Comments. What do you guys think? What do you think we're going to come up with on the If you don't want to watch that whole green, orange, and blue video, you don't have to. I'm going to give you the markers of where I think I found something. So, any other thoughts, comments? Is this what you guys thought it was going to be? No, not really?
I didn't know what
You didn't know what to expect? So this is what real life ghost hunting is about. When I go to other locations with me and my kids, like this is what we do. We go to one location and we hang out for a few hours and do everything we can to try to capture the evidence. So this is the true, like all the ghost hunters and ghost adventure stuff, they're just hyping it up for y'all. So that's what they do. That's what they get paid for. However, I get paid to give you guys enough data to go ahead and continue your investigation and have some really cool pictures to share. Good job with the video.